We strolled in the garden for a quiet few minutes. Eventually, we got to the center where there was a huge tree that stood out among the other plant life. Its leaves were lush green and its flowers were nearly in bloom. In the original timeline I come from, you and I grew this tree together, Armeus said with a smile. You would water it every day. Really? I looked up at the tree. How did it get so big so fast? My aunt has botanical abilities, remember? Oh, that's right. I forgot, I said. Armeus faced me with a smile, and I looked at him in return. I couldn't help but smile back. No, I can't fall for his charade. Remember what Rise told me. Come on, Araea. I looked back up at the tree, still smiling. Araea? Armeus said, trying to get my attention. Yeah? I looked away from the tree and looked towards him. Do you love me? He asked. My eyes widened a bit. I wasn't really expecting this. What was I supposed to say? I didn't know how to answer. I admit my feelings were mixed up, but still, I had to put up a charade of my own. Yes, I said hesitantly. I could see Armeus' face light up with joy. He then pulled me into a hug, but soon let go. Araea, he started. Thank you for not hating me. I didn't know how to respond, so I just remained silent and smiled. He and I looked each other in the eyes, and he kissed me. I honestly wanted to push him away, but after what just happened, it would look like I lied if I pushed him away. I kissed him back a little, and he eventually pulled away. We continued walking through the garden, and after some time, went back inside. We had lunch, and he let me explore the mansion we were in, alone. I began looking around for secret tunnels and such. I found a couple, but none that led to outside. I did my best to memorize where the tunnels were and where they led to. Eventually, I found one that led to the room Rise was in. Armeus' clone had fallen asleep, but Rise was wide awake. I made a key out of ice and used it to unlock the cage. Rise came out of the cage and gave me a big hug before climbing into the tunnel, which I followed him into and closed up behind us. Eventually, we left the tunnel. Rise ran off to hide while I continued exploring. Dinner time came, and I had to do my best to act like nothing happened. I walked into the dining room and saw my favorite food on the table. You remembered? I asked, seeing some delicious chicken fried steak on the table. Of course, Armeus said. How could I forget? I sat down and began eating. I was starting to think one of his clones had an expert cooking ability. Time passed in silence, but Armeus soon spoke up. So, Armeus began, did you enjoy exploring the tunnels? I froze. I chewed and swallowed the food in my mouth. Yeah, I said. It's interesting that you have those. They were fun to explore? Really? He asked as he finished eating. You have betrayed me, Araea. What are you talking about? I know you helped Rise escape. Why would you do that? I'm disappointed in you, Araea, he said, standing up. He began walking towards me. Scared, I stood up and began to run. He made a clone, and it began to run after me, and it was really fast. I continued running, but soon remembered my ability. I ran into one of the tunnels, closing it behind me. I focused and made my own clone, one that can teleport. Armeus' clone was close to getting the tunnel open. Eventually, the tunnel door broke down. He was about to grab me, but my clone hugged me, and we teleported away just in time. I didn't have enough practice with the new ability. I didn't know where I was, and I was low on energy. My vision was becoming blurry, and I became dizzy. I fell to the ground, but my head landed on something soft. I couldn't see what it was, and I passed out within seconds.